Hi everyone, it's Nadia and Jake, and today we're going to be
Talking about the Oscars, which happened last night. Very interesting awards show. We have a lot to say about it. We're going to be reviewing the awards show itself, but also talking about our predictions and how that held up and how we did, who won.
Yeah.
You're a little competitive. I'm kind of scared.
I mean, I feel like I couldn't vote on a lot of the list in the previous
No,
video
it's going to be
because
tricky.
I didn't watch everything.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really glad to do this video because I can actually do it. It doesn't require me going to theater right now. So
I got to say, I'm just happy this is all over. I'm happy that this award season is over. I feel like it was a lot of ups and downs and crazy chaos, all for a very predictable finale. So what was your full takeaway of the night?
So we watched it on Hulu and it was kind of disappointing because it cut off or not halfway.
Cut off right before actress and best picture.
Yeah, and I was looking forward to those categories a lot. So I was like, what the heck? And I guess that was just a Hulu thing I found out 5 minutes later. But out of the whole Oscar as a whole, I thought it ran longer than it should have. I think some of the musicals, like the James Bond, I didn't really understand how it fit into the whole Oscar.
Preposterous, ridiculous. Why are we doing?
Because we're shortening things, but then we're also lengthening things. So it just kind of felt like it was a filler for no reason. Whereas what I love to watch and listen to is really the speeches, and some of the musicals are fine too. It's just it just felt like it was unnecessary.
There wasn't even a James Bond movie this year.
Yeah, exactly. So if it was it had a purpose, then it'd be something
supposedly
different.
It was because Barbara Broccoli, who was the owner of the James Bond franchise before, very recently selling it to Amazon MGM. She won the Governor's Award, so I guess it had something to do with that. I don't really know. It felt very bizarre and why are we doing this? This is unnecessary. Can we just get back to the awards? It felt a little out of place,
yeah.
Yeah, let's just get back to the awards. I know that part of the appeal of the Oscars is the musical stuff, but if you don't have great songs to showcase, which I don't think they did this year, then you just shorten the show.
Wait, hold on.
What?
Wicked was awesome.
Okay. All right. So the intro, the show started with a montage of LA, and I thought that was cool. And then we got the Wicked performance, the Wizard of Oz stuff, and then, Defying Gravity. And I thought that was very nice. You were hyped.
Yeah, I like Defying Gravity. What can I say?
So I was happy to see you hyped. I think you were dancing with our boy a little bit.
Yeah.
So what did you think of Conan as our host?
I thought he did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I want to be really careful in the way that I talk about his hosting, because as I stated in the previous video, I haven't watched the Oscars in years, mainly due to, just it being shitty now. So, but Conan, I thought he did a good job. I can't really rate him in comparison to previous hosts because I haven't seen Oscars in a few years. But, I don't know. I still felt like the Oscars lost this touch that I remember it having few years before. I used to watch the Oscars religiously, and, it used to be the thing to do for me and my family. So it's kind of, it just feels like it's not really something that was as important. Although I think I may be wrong about this, because they said a lot more people tuned in this year, maybe because of streaming service with Hulu and the hype with, different drama. I'm not really sure, but it feels like it's getting back up there, which is always good and nice, right?
I have no idea, because it feels like the Oscars are more and more accepting and appreciative of indie films. I mean, Anora did not make much money at all. Very small movie.
Film.
Not a lot of people have seen that in the grand scheme of things.
I think they said they had a $6 million budget for the whole thing. So.
Yeah, very small movie. And it seems like the trend is to be awarding these smaller films. And I think that's part of the trends in the movie industry in general, in which we have these giant tentpole movies and then very small indie films, and the middle type films are kind of getting lost in the shuffle. But also the Oscars body is diversifying. There's a lot more international members, so there's a lot of different tastes being thrown in there and less of a traditional old man stuffiness about it. I don't know. There's a lot to be said. I know that I'm sure the Oscars producers really like years where Oppenheimer and Barbie are nominated, because that's everyone saw Oppenheimer, and that won Best Picture. They had Wicked this year, but Wicked was nowhere near that scale, and also I don't think people were expecting Wicked to win very much. So awards in general, let's talk about that. We talked about the ceremony comedy being a bit long. First off, I thought Conan did very well. I'm super biased because I love Conan in general. I thought there were some really funny jokes. I liked having the firefighters come up and read jokes. That was good. A lot of good self-deprecating humor. I mean, Conan's solid. He's done these award shows before. I don't know why he hadn't done the Oscars before. Seems like a no-brainer, and I hope he does it again because it seems like everyone was pretty satisfied with what he did, you know, and especially on a more sensitive year like this where there's the LA wildfires. I feel like he can balance the kind of more serious and like absurd. So the awards, we haven't gone through and checked what we voted for. We just kind of watched the show. I kind of forgot what I thought would win and what you thought would win, but I marked it all down, rewatched our previous video so that we can see and gloat. Were you happy with the awards and what won in general?
What and who won, you mean?
Yeah, what and who won. Yeah.
I mean, it was okay. It was fine. It was good. Yeah. I mean, like, I had mixed feelings because I was happy. I mean, some of the categories, I predicted like a lot of it from what I remember correctly, but I wish that some of the other people won. But like, as far as who I predicted would win, I think I did a fair job.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that that's who I wanted to win, right? But then I also can't say because a lot of the categories I didn't vote for because I didn't watch it, you know, unless it's just a documentary. So, I mean, I love, one of the things I love about the Oscars, which is why I was annoyed about the Hulu thing cutting off early, is I love when they play clips of like different films, because if I haven't seen certain movies, I'm like, oh, that kind of looks good. I want to watch that. I like how it's in like the clips are in comparison to each other.
It's a great advertisement for these movies.
Yeah. So, and I've seen your comments in the previous video about we should watch like other videos, and I do plan to when they're other movies. And I do plan to when they're in streaming because I can't really go out to theater right now. But I also like the speech that I later saw, Best Director, where, you know, Sean Baker was talking about like going to theater more and how the movie industry in that way is dying. And I do sympathize with that, and I thought it was a legendary night, the fact that Sean Baker won so many awards and Anora did so well as it did. I mean, I didn't expect it to do that well, and it was it's pretty amazing and historic in that way.
One of the movies that we can see, I actually just saw this recently, I think Flow is on Max.
Oh, perfect.
So we could watch that. Flow won Best Animated Feature, which is a Latvian film, I believe. So there's a few categories that we did not vote in. The main ones I want to talk about would be Animated Feature, which was Flow. I'm Still Here won Best International Feature,
watch that too.
Which was kind of an upset over Emilia Perez, which everyone seemed happy about. I seemed happy about simply because it beat Emilia Perez, and I know a lot of people in our comments want us to see I'm Still Here, which I absolutely will when it's available. The documentary, No Other Land, won Best Documentary, which is about the conflict in Israel-Palestine, and I think that's awesome. It seems like a very terrific documentary. I'm very happy those people won.
I want to watch it. Maybe want to watch it. Yeah.
Very interested to watch that. So let's go through what we voted for. Let's let the truth come out. All right, so visual effects, Dune Part 2 won. You said Dune Part 2 would win. I said Dune Part 2 would win. So I guess we both get a point.
Yeah, although I don't think it's fair. We're not going to tally ones that he voted for because he could go to the theater and I couldn't. You know, I don't think I should be punished for trying to take
No, ones that I win that you did, you didn't vote in, I will not punish you for that. Best sound, that went to Dune Part 2. I said A Complete Unknown, and you said you didn't vote.
Yeah.
All right, so no votes there. Makeup and hairstyling. You said The Substance, I said The Substance, and The Substance won.
Whoa.
Yeah, very exciting.
Costume design.
I said Wicked, you said Wicked.
Yep, and Wicked won.
All right,
so
that's
3 out of 3.
Then editing was Anora, correct?
Anora won.
I said Anora, you said Conclave.
So I guess I lost that one. Points to you. You know, it makes sense why Anora won. I just thought Conclave would win because I don't think the story would have been I don't think it would have been as good if it wasn't for editing. Like, suspense was kept alive until the very end. And for me, you know, Pope movies, it's really harder for me to get into. Not because
How many Pope movies are there?
There just feels like there's a lot of them, you know? That's why. It's kind of like a horror film, and it's like with the same story. It's like, okay, I already know how this is gonna go. I already know what's gonna happen. So when there's a little twist, or when like a horror movie can keep me excited, I give it extra points.
Name 5 Pope movies.
I try to forget about them.
Okay.
So. There's a lot of like Pope horror films. Like I know there wasn't there one with like Russell Crowe or something like
The
that.
Pope's Exorcist.
Yeah, and then I know I watched a couple other ones the year like last year as well. I mean, they seem to be more horror films, I will say.
I don't know what you're talking about with the Pope movies. I think this is a grand conspiracy on your part.
What was the other movie that we watched in theater? I think I was pregnant. Maybe I wasn't. But it was.
Were you pregnant?
I don't know. It was another horror film where there was something to do with the Catholic Church and
The Nun?
The Nun.
That's not the Pope, though. That's a nun.
It's still, what I'm trying to say is still the same.
Are you saying like Catholic horror movies? Because there are a lot of those.
All right, yeah, I correct myself. Catholic horror films. Thank you.
All right. The correction is made. Original song.
El Mal.
El Mal. I was correct. You did not vote on that one, so I don't get a point. All right. Original score. I said The Brutalist. You said nothing.
Brutalist won.
Brutalist won. And I don't get a point. Production design. I said Wicked. You said Wicked.
And The Wicked won.
So we both get a point.
Yep.
I don't know if you're keeping track, but I'm in the lead by 1 point.
Mm.
Cinematography. I said The Brutalist. You said nothing. And The Brutalist won. All right. Adapted screenplay. I said Conclave. You said nothing. And Conclave won. Original screenplay. I said The Substance. You said The Substance. And what won?
Honora won.
Honora won. All right.
So we both
That
lost.
should have been a no-brainer considering how strong Honora has been. Supporting actor. I said Kieran Culkin. I don't think you said anything.
I don't think I said anything for Kieran Culkin either. Just because I hadn't seen everything, like The Brutalist, I hadn't seen The Complete Unknown, I hadn't seen The Apprentice, I hadn't seen. But with that being said, I do remember telling you that I can see Kieran Culkin win.
Yeah.
So I would say get some
No
acknowledgement.
No credit, nothing. Supporting actress. I said Zoe Saldana. You said nothing. Zoe Saldana won.
Well, and I loved her speech, by the way. It was really nice.
I don't even. She shouldn't have won. That's just my take.
Who did you want to win again?
Anyone but Zoe Saldana.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Lead actor. I said Adrian Brody. You said Sebastian Stan, I believe, for The Apprentice. And it was Adrian Brody.
All right, another point.
Lead actress. I said Demi Moore. You said Mikey Madison. Mikey Madison won.
Yeah.
So you get a point. Directing. I said The Brutalist. You said The Substance. And it went to neither. It went to Honora.
Yeah.
So neither of us get a point. And then Best Picture, we both said Honora.
We both get a point. Yeah, I'm glad for the directing that it was Honora, just because of even though I was wrong, because it did go to, like, he had won, like, I think 4 awards by the end of the night.
That's crazy. I think the last person to win 4 awards in one night is Walt Disney.
So that's what I think is cool about it, is that it was a low budget film. And that's what I mean. I mean, like, whether you like Honora or hated it, there's something to appreciate it, at least in my opinion, about like a low budget film winning so many categories, just because I think it sheds a light, it illuminates that low budget film does have a space in an Academy Award.
I'm really happy with Honora winning, honestly. I mean, I personally wish Challengers won the whole thing, but it was not nominated for nothing.
You should be criminalized.
So not to be the one person to make it competitive, but you got 6 points and I got 7. So
all right, you win out of 1 point.
Okay. Good game.
Don't I get extra points for, raising
All right, you win. You get extra points. I had a fun time. I thought it was a good show, and Honora is not my favorite movie of the year, but it's very good. It's nice seeing a good movie win, because that doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, I liked Honora because I didn't really predict the ending, and it was funny, also sad, and hard to watch, but also I can't look away. It was dynamic, and I liked that about it.
Very dynamic.
Let us know what you thought about the Oscars. I'm really interested to hear, especially if you've been watching Oscars for years. Was it different this year with Conan hosting instead of Kimmel? Was it like less boring, more boring? I would love to hear your thoughts. I always love reading your comments and kind of seeing your perspective, because a lot of times it also changes my perspective.
Thank you for watching, everyone. We will talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.